Bill, welcome back to the show and many thanks for staying with us. Well, Ghana is becoming more and more obese and experts are getting increasingly worried. Numerous campaigns have still not been heeded and more people continue to die from diseases triggered by obesity. Yesterday, President Akufo-Addo, like I indicated earlier, joined the campaign, raising a concern about the eating habits and lifestyle of Ghanaians and the lack of exercise especially. Today here on The Pulse, we're bringing you full analysis. We'll speak to experts, like I said, about this problem and how this is leading people to their graves prematurely. We'd like to hear from you through our social media platforms. So why don't you send me a WhatsApp on 054-010-9009. That's 054-010-9009. You can also reach us on Facebook and Twitter, where we have generated a poll. Go there and tell us what you think. Do you agree with the president that we have become a nation of obese people? The poll is on Facebook, so join in. We have these and more coming up. First, though, we go back to President Akufo-Addo's comment in Parliament yesterday during the SONA.
The nation has made progress in eradicating the communicable diseases that used to be the main cause of mortality. We're in danger of falling into the lifestyle disease trap. Too many of us are overweight. And obesity is an increasing problem, even among young people. The foods we eat Speaker, the foods we eat, the mode of cooking, and the lack of exercise are all now having a great impression on our health. It is time we all learn to take responsibility for our individual health and accept that our health is very much determined by our lifestyle.
Cooked lack of exercise. Well, I'm sure you observed the reaction of the members of parliament when the president started talking about obesity. They were laughing. That shows how Ghanaians generally take matters relating to the food that we eat and exercises. But it's a very serious issue and very important risk factor to many diseases, especially type 2 diabetes. So here are some graphics that we put together. It gives you an idea. And it is coming from a recent work by done by researcher Albert Amwa and published in the Ghana Medical Journal that reviews some worrying statistics. It shows that prevalence of obesity at 23% and overweight people is at 14.1%. It shows also that more females are obese than males. Females are we're looking at 7.4%, whereas by males we're looking at some 2.8%. And that's really interesting. Why? We look at the fact that it increases with age. It is common among married people than it is among unmarried people, and it remains common among those with jobs than those without jobs. It's also found to be the highest in the Greater Accra region, where there's a prevalence rate of 16.1%. If you go to the Upper East and the Upper regions, perhaps they work a lot and they had the best result with a minimal presence. By ethnicity, if we want to look at obesity, we can look at how it was found to be the highest among Gadangme people. We're looking at 14.6%. And you can also attribute that to the number of kenke perhaps that we eat. So that's one of the favorite foods for the people within this bracket. Well, if we move on to Eves, Matilda Gavi's people, we're looking at 6.6%. And we're talking also about Banku and about Akple and about all of those things that we like to eat. And so this work says that they saw that the people within this bracket seem to come after the Ghana people. If you go forward, talk about I can't put myself in that category. We like to eat fufu a lot. I don't like fufu, by the way. They're looking at a 6.0%. The obese people have usually have less physical activity days per week than the rest. Respondents in that work that was done by Ms. Amwas shows the history of angina or having been diagnosed with diabetes or taking insulin or blood sugar lowering medications were among more obese people than others without a history of these conditions. So what does it recommend? This report recommends increased awareness and promotion of healthy lifestyles, including exercising and generally healthy living, which is what we're doing now. So we stepped out to check out this problem, and we've been speaking to people who have been affected by this condition. Komla Adom has a story. In the meantime, I'd like for you to know that I have one of the people to talk to about this problem here in the studio is Joel Abekuliya.
Yeah,
Abekuliya, right, and he will be helping us to do that conversation. So take a look at Komla Adom's story, and then when we come back, we'll have a chat. Send me your messages, by the way.
Once you are big, people will mock at you, others will be friends with you. I got a particular place that I passed when going to maybe meetings, or when you get there, you know these young boys, when they are in an area with you, you know how they behave. Hey, Opolo, shall I tweet? This, and so I start laughing. Any name you give me, I respond. Shall I tweet? Then I'll dance for you. I don't have problem with any name you give me. I respond. Unless you insult me. When you insult me, I'll tell you, don't insult me.
Okay.
Because I did not ask God to give me this.
Okay.
And I don't know how to put it. But I don't think be a big person. God created the short, tall. Then we have all the sizes.
At 47, Lydia Korte can barely walk, and every 3 steps she takes comes with them gasp for breath. Her life is almost stagnating because she needs assistance to do nearly everything.
I can't walk longer distance again. I see the road as too long, so I will not go cry. You see, I'll just sit. Send my sister is with me, so anything I want, she will go and buy it for me. So I don't move. So I've seen some changes, because I quite remember I went to hospital and doctor asked me I shouldn't stand when bathing.
Okay.
I should sit down. So you see, this is very bad. Because maybe you decide to take something from the floor, maybe you fall down. Or the doctor was trying to explain to me that blood could come out from my nostrils and it need death. And nowadays, when I walk through, I feel pains here. You see, first I don't feel that pain.
Okay.
But after DSA, because I don't train again, I started feeling these pains. I can't walk longer distance again. So you see, the changes. If I don't take it 3, 4, 5 years, I might be in the room without coming out again. So I think I have to do something about it.
Lydia says she has forgotten how many kilograms she weighed the last time she checked 2 years ago. But the mother of 2, who sits with me for this conversation, knows she's extremely obese. How has she been getting by?
At first, I was playing volleyball, but after giving birth, I stopped sports, because I realized when you go to training, after training, I eat more. Because after training, you go with your, how do I call them, the training masters. You go and sit somewhere, then enjoy yourself. So I could see that training and not training. When I start training, I grow bigger.
Okay.
But when I stop training, I maintain my weight. So I stopped training. And when you are big too, your chance of getting any sickness is easier. So I decided, once you are big, people will mock at you, others will be friends with you.
Lydia is just one of the 43% of Ghanaian adults found to be either overweight or obese, according to a 2018 joint study between the KNUST and the University of Western Cape in South Africa. She would not eat 3 square meals now because she wants to cut down on her food intake.
With this my body, I don't supposed to take in more carbohydrates. But you bear with me that carbohydrate food, when you take in, it takes you longer. So instead of taking, like early in the morning, you take your breakfast, and within breakfast you take your fruits and those things. I don't do it, because buying fruits and it was a lot of money, and I'm not working. If I'm working, that will not be a problem to me. So when I'm about to eat, what will I take? I'll take banku and then my shito, normal shito, and then some dried fish.
In 2016, the World Health Organization Health Observatory data revealed nearly 2 billion adults worldwide were overweight, and of these, more than 500 million were obese. Dietitian at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Andrew Tetekbabi, says the figures are alarming in Africa with many risk factors associated with obesity.
The definition according to the WHO is that a BMI greater than 30 kilogram per meter squared is obese. Obesity is caused by overeating. From a layman's point of view, it's overeating. If you overeat, you become obese. Obesity is one of the common risk factors for most of the non-communicable diseases that we have. All right, so diabetes, cancer, high blood cholesterol, kidney problems, stroke, hypertension. The list just goes on and on. The food that you eat, you are supposed to use it. All right. So when we talk of using it, breathing, walking, singing, there are activities. All right. Plus the other activities you do. If you are amazing, you need the food to do all this work. It is quantified as food. So if you eat more than your body needs and you don't use it, you would become fat.
Latest figures on obesity are not readily available, but Andrew Kwabi believes a lot could change with obese people if they seek professional help.
Life, we have laws, we have natural laws. There's no way that you can get pregnant and in maybe 2 weeks the child is mature. No, it will take you 9 months. The same way it took you a couple of years before your weight is now 100 kg or before your weight is now 120 kg. It will take you some time. All right, instant or rapid weight loss is not what we recommend. All right, if you want to lose weight, we take your time. You come and see a dietitian or fitness expert. We take our time and plan a special diet for you. Because when we give you a very rigorous plan, you might not be able to follow it. So we need an individual plan. We can't give you a general advice here. So the way forward for such people is that you have to seek professional help.
Lydia joined a local dance competition for plus-size women organized by an Accra-based TV network, Atinka TV, 2 years ago to get out of her shell and find confidence in her own skin. The outsized woman, who is already out of breath, tells me after the dance competition ended, her situation has worsened because she no longer does enough physical activities. Currently unemployed, she says she is unable to subscribe to a gymnasium to begin a routine to shed off the weight. But dietitian Kwabi says expert assistance is required for people like Lydia to be motivated enough to enroll in a program to get them to shed weight. But people like Lydia or those overweight are now turning to the gyms for quick fixes. Coach Carter is a fitness instructor at X Fitness Ghana.
Most people come to the gym to lose weight. Okay, I'm just using weight loss as an example. Most people come to the gym to lose weight. Now, for something like weight loss, there's more to it than just coming to the gym. Like I stated earlier, you need to work on yourself as an individual. You need to find out what is stressing you the most. You need to find out, what makes you happy, and then get that part of your life sorted out. After that, then you resort to physical exercise. Now, physical exercise or the gym helps speed up weight loss. Okay, it helps speed up weight loss, but it isn't the answer.
Others have taken to dawn jogs up and down hilltops in parts of Accra. Mami Dufie is one of them here at New Fadama.
I am in a other station be here. I was them on Sana. My babon into me free say no. As a member of Bontina, Mbaye jogging kakra and Untina. Bye.
I started indoors, but I've decided to come out today.
4 o'clock.
Okay. About 2 hours. Okay. Would it be your first and last and now more often?
Can be a member.
I have been here for 2 hours.
First near war, Mamobi. Near ya by a better, I say, near your baby, a year way. Into a grammar for family sisters, Musosha, or Mumra higher fine.
I used to be obese, but I've seen drastic changes.
And Mammy Pomu, a heading. First, and I'm so say, but me starting across half, my buffalo.
Up the Pedrassi Hill, many others in groups undertake aerobic exercises, like 35-year-old Emmanuel Kuma, who weighed 120 kilograms, about the weight of 2 cement bags.
You know, I traveled out for my studies in UK. But when I came back, I was bloated. I've become very, very fat. So friends were laughing at me, Obolo 30, Obolo 30. And then I decided to at least calm down, because it got to a point I was getting annoyed. Everybody was telling me, Obolo 30, Obolo 30.
In South Africa, Parliament took a brave step towards promoting the health of the country's citizens and reducing diet-related non-communicable diseases such as diabetes by passing a bill to implement a tax on sugar-sweetened beverages. This, the World Health Organization believes, is a positive step. There are intensified campaigns for obese people to pay more taxes and pay higher for goods and services as a means of dealing with the matter. The success of this module has not been evaluated yet, but it is reported 1 in 3 Americans wants obese people taxed more. Hungary and Denmark are battling the obesity epidemic, but a fat tax on unhealthy foods is expected to help deal with the matter somewhat. In Africa, there are calls for such a measure to help deal with the burgeoning obesity numbers. That could limit people like Lydia from accumulating more body fats. And restaurants and food bars that serve food portions more than the consumer can have at a sitting must reconsider how foods are sold. Lydia wants restaurants to cut down on their food portions for obese people so they do not keep piling them up.
When you take me to a restaurant and the plate is 15, I'll take plate 15. If I can finish all, I'll finish all. If I can't finish all, I'll leave the rest. I'll not say because I use 20 Ghana, 40 Ghana to buy, so no. What I want them to do is, because they have gone through the nutritional and this thing, and they should be able, when they see a bigger person, they should be able to talk to the person, Madam, this and this will not help you. But because they are selling, you know, now selling is for money. I want my money. So whatever you want is what I'll do.
While she ponders over the next step to take, many Ghanaians say voluntary dawn jogging could help trim down some more. Today, the gyms are full. The parks are full. The hospitals are also inundated with people. And the 43% of Ghanaian adults found to be either overweight or obese are still hoping their weight loss journey yields results.
It's not just people who look like her who are overweight. There are people who actually look like Komla Adam who are also overweight. I'm not saying Komla is overweight, but people who look like her. So we have experts here in the studio to talk about this particular issue. Like I introduced to you already, Joel Abekuliya, who is the National Lead for Risk Communication and Social Mobilization with the Ghana Health Service. He's already here. I've introduced him. You're welcome once again.
Thank you.
I also have here in the studio, we've just been joined by Dr. Benjamin Nyako. He's a clinical nutritionist. Doc, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And I've already told you to share your thoughts with us on our Facebook page where we are running a poll. I do have my WhatsApp platform here. I want you to send me a message on it. What questions do you have for these people? See, I don't want us to waste our time going through the problems because we know the problems. Maybe you can give us a bit of a background and then we deal with the solution, because I want us to focus a lot more on the solutions. So we keep talking about it, but it's not really working. So let's start with that one. Since you work for us, as in you work for the state, and we pay you, I'm going to start. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Abekuliya. So, what's your assessment? Komla in his report says 43% of Ghanaians are overweight and obese. What's your assessment of how bad the situation is as it stands?
Yeah. So it is good that at least Komla has written something and we have. Actually, it's really a bad situation. And especially Ghana, we're already struggling with communicable diseases, and then we have issues like obesity that also contribute to the non-communicable also coming up. So it's really something that is terrible. And then the Ghana Health Service, as far as the Health Promotion Division, and then the National Communicable Disease Program is trying to address. Yeah, and this is just a study, so that's just a sample of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's actually worse in terms of like if we want to really expand the sample.
Figures.
Yeah, if we want to look at expand the sample and then get the number. And it's not only obesity, but you know, we have other areas in terms of hypertension and then what we call diabetes. That is also coming up. That has not been captured. And actually, there hasn't been any big study in terms of sponsored by the Ghana Health Service or the state to really ascertain what the situation is actually considering the country. So just packets of studies that have been done and then coming out with the evidence. So it's still good that these issues are coming out, and that means that like we really have to take action in terms of it.
We really have to.
I'm very glad that the president mentioned it yesterday.
All right, so let me bring you in as well, Dr. Nyako. What's your own thoughts? What are your own assessments? I'm sure people come to you with this issue. They come to you when the problem has already been compounded, and then they seek advice. Your assessment?
Yeah, like you just said, it's becoming a problem actually. And it is a global problem. And since Ghana is one of the countries, we are also having the same or facing the same problem. And the rate at which people are becoming obese and overweight is alarming. And I'm glad the president touched on it. And the whole country is now made aware.
Right.
Yeah. It's a problem that we need to talk about it and then find solutions to it. Yeah, like you said, yeah, you know, why have we come or when did we come to this?
Exactly what I was going to get to, because you say that the rate is becoming alarming. What is accounting for this?
A lot of things. One, the Ghanaian mentality. You know, we attach beauty and affluence and everything to it. So when somebody is getting pot belly,
someone looks big,
when he's getting pot belly,
living well,
we say that he's getting money.
I thought we dealt with that a long time ago. I mean, that used to be a thing when I was growing up.
I'm starting from where the problem started from, the origin. All right, so people felt when you eat well, when you live well, when you get a lot of money, you must eat so that you get pot belly. And so that is one, the psychology of it. And then number two, with you ladies, you know, guys these days, you know, want ladies that they have a little
who are curvy. So they have big buttocks, they have big hips.
So people just die. They eat so that
really.
Oh yeah, because like we're saying, it used not to be like that in the olden days, but now the notion is that even I had somebody, there is an artist singing a song that if you take small, you. So you see, the notion of the people also is part of the problem. And again, our lifestyle have changed. You know, we were on the farms, and then we moved to the cities. When you compare obesity rate, comparing the cities and the rural areas, you see there's difference. Why? Because those in the rural areas, they expend a lot of energy. They walk to the farms. They do a lot of work and walk back to the farm and to the house. Coming to the house, the household chores, everything is mechanical. Everything is physical, let me say. Going to the riverside to fetch water, even cooking, washing, everything. But when you come to the cities, we have the dishwashers. We have the microwaves. We have we have our antennas. We have everything. So there is little motion.
So people have vehicles. People have
we sit in our cars
instead of walking, rather sit in the car.
And the internet itself has been now. You can do online shopping.
Everything.
You are sitting in your home, they bring it, so you don't.
So we sit a lot, and the worst thing is that apart from sitting too much, we're also taking too much energy-dense foods. And that also accounts for the problem. We eat too much and we sit down. Another problem is the time that we eat and the number of meals that we consume per day.
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't want to become obese, you don't have to be eating all day long. Some people, they'll be nibbling at everything.
Okay.
All the time, you see. And the energy that you accumulate, you don't expend. And so you get fat.
Okay.
It will store as energy. And then also late suppers. When you eat late and you go and sleep, all the energy from the food is turned into fat because metabolism is at its low ebb, you see. And so these are the problems. And our lifestyle, like I was saying, the time we close from work and then we get into the traffic, by the time we get home,
you're tired.
You're tired and it's late and you eat a big meal, you see, and then you go to sleep. So you're definitely going to store all the energy as fat.
Okay, so big meal. I'd like for us to look at big meal, but before I bring in, I'm having a lot of feedback from here. We'll take some of those messages, but I want you to tell us, what have we done in terms of the Ghana Health Service, policy-wise? What has been the Ghana Health Services intervention to deal with this? Because like Doc is saying, like I know, I've had this thing when I was a child. We've known these unhealthy lifestyles, but what have you done to ensure that these things are changed, at least from the children, from basic schools, etc.? Have you done anything you can share with us?
All right, so we used to have a policy, national policy for NCDs, which expired in 2017. So we started reviewing it. So we had one that we've done, which is still in draft, from 2018 to 2022, which captures all these issues concerning the diets for the children, and even in schools, what are the policies concerning the food and then exercise or physical activities at the schools. And then what also needs to be done in terms of the public, and then also dealing with export and the import of some products that are likely to worsen issues in regards to some of these things. So it's still in draft and has not been passed into this yet. But very soon we will let that be.
Well, now that the president has spoken, you better.
So I'm sure it's something that we quickly need to take advantage of. Actually, I thought he had seen it, and that's why the issue came up yesterday.
You thought the president may have seen. Maybe he has. Maybe he's just really concerned.
So that means that those things are really. We are on the way to do that. But in the side. So the things that we're trying to do is that, we want to really make sure the system is sanitized in terms of, so that at least when we are moving, everything is coordinated. So we are trying as a health promotion division to try to make sure that we regulate the gyms, because actually we don't really know some of the programs that they run. To make sure that at least we know that they have programs that are in line with
But should that be our problem? They are there. So people who go to the gym are people who are already being converted.
Exactly.
So they're already looking out for good health. Exactly. So we should leave them and deal with those who are not.
Those who are not, yeah. So one other thing too, we're also trying to do is education has been ongoing, and we have officers at the regional levels. And we always make sure that some of those things become topical issues when they are having discussions at their levels. Then listen for now.
I see. Yeah. I see. So I don't know. I don't know if that works for you. I mean, as an outsider, you don't work with the system, right?
No, but
so for an outsider, what do you make of it? Because from the statistics that we have seen, the problem is really in urban areas. Yeah. So if there are interventions, perhaps the interventions ought to focus more on the urban areas. People, right. Middle class societies, people who don't put in a lot of exercise. Because we take the Upper West, for example, as we saw. They are good. Yeah. They're good. The people are walking. They're doing a lot of farming work, so they're good.
That's right.
So the intervention, what are your thoughts on this? Then we go to the messages.
We already have it. We need to change our lifestyle. We need to go back to our origins, how we're living some time ago. Like he mentioned school children. In our time, we were walking to the school.
But realistically, realistically, things have changed. Things are not the same. It's like saying there's shoes. Yes. I mean, they've invented shoes, but I don't want to wear shoes. I want to walk on the bare floor. Things have changed. We can't help it.
That is why I say it's a global problem, because globally things are changing.
Okay.
I said we were on the farms. When you go to the United States, they were on the farms about, say, 200 years ago. And then they moved into the cities after the industrialization. And then things started to change. And we are following suit. You see, when we change our lifestyle, like you say, things have changed. Now kids must be transported to school instead of walking. And how about the food they are served? The food that they are served. And I'm also glad that you have some policies in place. Yes. But the problem I see is that whenever you talk about these things, you step on people's toes. Because for me, we have a lot of hormones that those over there, overseas, I'm talking about animal production, poultry, they give them a lot of hormones.
Okay.
Growth hormones, so that they will grow very fast. And when you take the flesh, you also have the hormones. You also get the
has this been scientifically proven?
Sure.
That the poultry product that we consume have hormones that then transfers to us fast-growing hormones?
We know it's long time.
Oh, wow.
Let me just...
Okay, I haven't seen that, and I don't want us to make this too scientific. I want us to make this more like a bread and butter issue.
Okay.
For the people who are sitting at home and watching us, they want to find out, what can I do about my present situation to be more healthy? So let me just read you some of the messages, and then we'll go on Facebook and take what people are saying as well, whether people agree with the president or not. So the question is, are Ghanaians becoming obese? As the president says, 68% of us think that yes. And let's see how many people have voted so far. 4,200 people have voted so far. So 4,200 people, 68% of 4,200 people think that we really have an obesity problem, that we are becoming a nation of obese people. 32% think we're not. I mean, talk about the Banku and the Kenke and the, I mean, it's just so difficult to, the jollof and the way we love our jollof, it's just so difficult to stay away from some of these things. But let's try and address some of these questions directly. Okay. This lady, I don't know if it's a lady, he says, I have is it lumbar problem? Lumbar, and I'm gaining weight. I want to exercise, but because of the issue, it's a bit of a problem. How then do I lose weight? Which of you wants to go for that question for me? So I believe he probably has a problem that makes it difficult for him to exercise.
Yeah, to get pain.
It's a pain at the back. Okay, so what does this person do?
Well, in the first place, he should change his or her diet, his or her diet.
Okay.
By including a lot of vegetables and fruits. When you take the vegetables, they have low calorie content, the fruits and the vegetables. So you should change the diet. And then also, you should also limit the intake. If at first, yes, he was taking like 2 balls of Banku or Kenke, you begin to take like one and a half, and that will help.
That will help.
To lose weight.
I hear that with fruits, there is still a lot of sugar.
Yeah, but the sugar in the fruit, you know, because there is fiber in the fruit, the sugar doesn't spike like the refined one. Okay. So the fruit sugar is okay.
It's safer. Okay, right. You wanted to put
yes, I just wanted to add that you see, obesity, there's sometimes depending on how you measure, you may be having some, because when somebody lifts, the person gains tissues.
Okay.
So when you measure that person's BMI, you might think the person is no, definitely he'll be obese, depending on the person's weight. Yeah. Which at least is good, but because the person has muscles,
more muscles.
So we need to put all those things into perspective. But this one, I know, is about the
we know what we're dealing with.
Exactly,
we know we're dealing with.
So
those of us who eat late
and all those stuff.
A lot. Eat a lot of simple carbs and have become bigger with bigger stomachs. And if we go to Parliament, if we want to do this in Parliament, please don't bring me to the Privileges Committee, but if we want to take Parliament, for example, we don't have very good examples. Most of our parliamentarians are obese. And so they were laughing when the president said this yesterday. So this one says, what's the best time for one to exercise? And can one eat before exercise? Let me throw that to you.
All right. So I always want to use the simple lesson. For exercise, I don't think there's a time for a right time for doing exercise.
Okay.
Exercise is just meant to kind of hasten your metabolism, so that at least you can be able to break down whatever you have taken.
Okay.
Exactly. So depending on the time that you want, you can do your exercise. And then that's why, in terms of maybe advising somebody on the exercise and then the diet they should take, I always want to have an evaluation about the first.
Okay.
Because sometimes you cannot just give a blanket this number, but at least there are some principles that works for everybody.
Okay, let's go through that quickly.
But depending on that, so the thing is that what do you call it? For somebody to be obese, it's just that the person has eaten more than the body needs, or more than what the body can break down.
Okay.
So usually you need to know what amount of body mass that is excess. Then based on that, you'll be able to determine what sort of exercise that can be done to quickly break it.
Okay. Use me as an example.
So for example, I will need to know your job schedule, and then what do you eat in a normal day. So for instance, what do you take for breakfast?
Okay, I don't eat breakfast.
You don't. Okay, so let's take lunch.
Lunch.
How is your normal lunch like?
I'll eat something like chicken. That's because these days I'm trying to watch what I eat. I'll spend time eating, say, chicken or eggs, or I'll eat kontomire. Again, because I'm trying to. But ideally, if I get jollof, I'll eat spa.
You eat jollof.
You know.
Exactly. So, and then your work schedule.
Well,
actually, definitely you are not dealing more of like physical activity.
No, so we do run around a lot.
Yes.
We do run around a lot, but it's not as, it's more here. We use more of our brains.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that is why, like, sometimes you need to. So you need all those things to be able to advise on the meal that you take. Okay. For instance, somebody who is a mason, definitely the person needs the energy to listen. So you'll be counseling the person more on what do you call it? The food that the person is taking. Maybe it's banku that the person, that maybe at the end of the day the person will be able to break down the food. But for jollof, looking at what you do, definitely you may retain some of the things after.
Okay.
Like
so I should not eat jollof.
No, you should eat jollof. You should eat jollof, but the quantity.
Just a little. Okay. Okay.
And the more that is
Okay.
I wanted to come in.
Yeah, please do briefly for me. We're running out of time. I need to wrap up, unfortunately.
Oh, but you said that we should localize it.
Yes.
And right now we get a lot of kifit clubs who jog on Sundays.
Yeah.
But what I've observed is that after the hectic exercise, they go back.
Eat loads of kinky.
That's right.
That is not working either.
Yeah, that is not good. Because you expended the energy and then you just replace it.
So at the end of the day, you have done nothing. You have wiped out all the exercise they have done. Well, the Keep Fit Clubs, I hope you are listening. Unfortunately, we have to wrap up, but there are people also raising concerns about pork fat. They say pork fat is healthier. So for those who are doing keto, for example, they recommend a lot of pork. So they eat a lot of pork. Is it a good thing?
No.
Really? Why not? Because we eat that a lot in the newsroom. So why is pork not good? MFR Pao, I'm sure MFR Pao is watching. Please advise us.
Yeah, actually, you don't need too much fat.
Okay.
In terms of oil. And when we say fat, we have the oils and the fat. Oils have higher caloric content.
Okay.
So if you take too much pork, which has a lot of oil, you are just increasing your calories. And at the end of the day, you gain weight. So it will be prudent to use very little. All kinds of oil though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me see if I can take some of the comments here and then we can call it a wrap. I guess that maybe going forward, we can still arrange some of these conversations and answer people's specific questions, more of the education. Yeah, we'll bring the invoice to the Ghana Health Service later.
Don't forget about the CRS. Corporate social responsibility.
As the corporate social responsibility, we have done, sir. Anyway, this was us. Please find out from the experts the normal weight for persons between the ages of 18 and 30 years. Isaac from Bensi sent that one. Is there a normal, on average rate for persons between specific age groups? Is there anything like this?
All right. So there are standards. Yeah, but for instance, I can't relate to it, but there are standards that we use.
Okay.
Yes, that I think Asians have some standards, so your age and then your height and then this and that you're supposed to be.
Okay.
And that is why usually they used to even determine whether you are
your
BMI.
Okay.
BMI.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So this one says, I'm Kofi Bedu Tumesino, Boasia Ashanti region. I'm 47. I've weighed between 59 and 61 kg over the past 25 years. Do I have a problem? Says to find out from my panel. Does he have a problem?
Yeah, just like we were saying that, you see, whether you are obese or not depends on your body weight and then your height. We have what we call the BMI. So we cannot sit here without seeing him and say you are okay or not.
So for people like that, you recommend that they'll see, you know, specialists, or they will see people who are, say, a nutritionist for them to, can't you just decide for yourself, you know, weigh yourself up and decide that you are overweight? Because if you're overweight, you should know, right?
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
Will you consider yourself an overweight person? Because I see you that you don't have a lot of flesh, but you have a little bit of a belly there. Does that make you overweight?
It's my shirt.
It's your shirt. Okay. Okay. So please, is obesity as a result of only poor eating habits and lack of exercise, or could it also be genetic? My grandmother is big. My mother is big.
Sometimes
They have genetics.
Yes.
Okay, so it's genetic as well. But the point is, and I'll take final words from them as to what you can do going forward. You can resolve to eat right, eat better than you used to do. Final message here. Good evening, Gifty. The obesity situation is becoming worrisome. Our energy input is more than our energy output. We consume more and do less. And I say that this is a cultural problem. So in the food, the way we eat our food, so you have 2 bowls of banku, you have a tiny fish, and then maybe some egg, some pepper, and we're gone. I don't know how we can break away from that mentality, but it seems that it's been a big part of the problem. I'll take your final words, and we call it a wrap. Maybe I should start with Ghana Health Service. Now that the awareness is being built up, what should people do from now on?
Yes. So I think what people should be doing is to be involved more in physical activity. Okay. And for physical activity, you don't necessarily have to go to the gym. When you wake up in the house, actually we have different types of exercise that you can do. You can just hold your wall and then just lift your legs for a while. You know, once you start, you feel it yourself if you are doing exercise or not. Yeah. So and then these push-ups, which can be done in the house. So sometimes for busy people, you don't really need to schedule to go to the gym. Yeah. You can actually do it in your room before you leave. Yeah,
which is what I try to do.
Exactly. So some of those things that are so physical exercise, and then also for the children, it's very important that when your child is going to school, you know, now parents have the habit of providing snacks, and we know what some of those snacks can do. I don't want to mention, but
you don't have to.
Exactly. So, let us try to introduce the locally made ones, the sobolos, and then even now you can quickly just buy some fruits, you cut it nicely, and then put it in your child's bag to send to school.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So, and this also goes to the teachers, because sometimes I think they are the ones who push, because they see other children having it. The child wants to have it, and they say, okay, when you're coming next time, bring it. So they should also promote the taking of fruits and the healthy
lifestyles at that level. And I hope that the free what's it called again? Free meals that are provided in school by way of policy, government's policy will include more healthier because we see the rice, plenty rice, they put it in a bowl and then they sprinkle something that looks like soup. I don't know. Anyway, we don't have a lot of time. Doc, let me come to you for your thoughts.
Well, I would say that people should limit their sugar intake, their oil intake. And also, you said something that you don't take breakfast.
Yes.
It's not good.
So I hear.
You need to take breakfast.
Okay.
And then we say that you eat your breakfast like a king.
Okay.
Because you need all the energy to
What's the best time to eat breakfast? 7 a.m., 8 a.m.?
It depends on
the time you wake up.
Yes, the time you wake up and your schedule.
Okay.
All right, so you need to eat breakfast. And then you eat lunch also like a queen. And then you eat your dinner or supper like a pauper.
Pauper, that's what they say.
Yeah, if you do that, you will lose weight.
Okay. But you have to exercise as well.
That's
right.
Like
I'm saying, as long as these resource persons are available, we'll try and bring them in so we can answer some of the questions and continue with education so all of us can live healthier lives. And I'm really grateful that you joined us, gentlemen. I've been doing this with Joel Abekuliya. The normal BMI. That's what, 24.9 kg?
Yes.
For someone between the ages of 18 and
for
30.
an adult.
For an adult.
Yeah, and then for children it's between 2 to 18. That's
okay,
normal.
we'll talk about this a bit more, so maybe perhaps the next time you're able to come. Joel Abekuliya is a national lead for risk communication and societal mobilization with the Ghana Health Service. He's been doing this for us. And also Dr. Benjamin Nyako is a clinical nutritionist. He also joined us in the studio. I'm sure that as we go on, we can bring them in more of the time. Then perhaps you can have a direct interaction with them. And we'll see how that helps you on your new body goals for 2020, inspired by President Akufo-Addo at the State of the Nation address. Thank you very much for coming.